I packed myself into a gift box planning to surprise the man I love. This was the 99th time I confessed this. Time I thought it would finally come true, but just as we were about to kiss, I suddenly passed out completely. When I opened my eyes, I realized I wasn't in the world I knew. I couldn't react at all. The man was yelling at me like crazy. He angrily left with our daughter, leaving me standing there in confusion. At that moment, the maid asked if I wanted to eat and called me madam. That made me even more confused, looking at everything unfamiliar around me. Thought I was dreaming. I found it strange. I had just confessed to the man. How did I suddenly become a married woman? I suddenly started suspecting I had time traveled, so I began shouting randomly for the system but got no response. Instead, the maid thought I had lost my mind, so she quickly made an excuse to leave. Just then, my phone rang. I picked it up and saw a voice message scolding me. Angrily replied, but to my shock, I found all the chat records were messages I had sent myself, and they were all confessions to the other person, and the time was already 22:56. Years apart from the 2019 I knew, so I quickly called my best friend, but as soon as she heard my name, she hung up. I couldn't understand why she was doing this to me. Kept calling 99 times. Finally, she agreed to meet me, but even when we met, she still had a cold expression. So to gain her trust, I told her about my time traveling experience. She thought I was lying, turned away, and ignored me, but after I begged her, she finally softened and told me everything that happened in the past 6 years. That's when I realized how much I had become hated. It turns out, right after graduation, I married my idol and had a lovely child, but I couldn't understand why I suddenly fell madly in love with another man. Hearing this, I couldn't help but curse myself as a jerk and even angrily slapped myself. Then I restlessly returned to the villa, thinking about why I could abandon my husband and daughter and fall out with my best friend, doing such heartless things. Just then, the man came back from the hospital with our injured daughter. Seeing my pitiful daughter, I wanted to comfort her, but instead, I heard the man's cold reprimand. I hurriedly followed him, but when our daughter fell asleep, I couldn't help but go to her bedside, trying to gently tuck her in, but the man saw me and mistook my actions as harm to our daughter. He suddenly pulled me away and warned me not to come near her again. That's when I realized how deeply I had hurt both him and our daughter, but I couldn't tell him that I had time traveled from when I was a teen. He would think I was just making excuses, so I could only sincerely promise to change, but he still didn't believe me. He even pulled out a divorce agreement and said he wanted to divorce me. Seeing that agreement, I panicked, begging him not to leave. He was taken aback by my sudden change, but it was clear he still deeply loved me, so he decided to give me a chance. He threw the divorce agreement aside and turned to leave, and I felt a wave of exhaustion and even collapsed to the ground. I wanted to know what had happened in these 6 years, why I had fallen for someone else, why I had treated our daughter so badly. So I decided that no matter what, I would win the man back and make my daughter accept me again. But I knew I had hurt her so deeply that every time she saw me, it was as if she encountered some terrifying monster. She wouldn't give me any chance to come near her. She wouldn't even touch her favorite Dolomite